Good evening and welcome to episode 98. Just let that sink in for a minute. Episode 98. We are 2 away from the century, which is fucking ridiculous, to be totally honest. Anyway, episode 98 of Malt and Magic, the Forgotten Kingdom of Nialin. Campaign 1 for us. Will there be a campaign 2? You're damn right there will be. So, before we get into anything else, let's do our usual thank yous. I am still suffering a little bit from COVID, but we're just about there now, so the voice may go, it may stay, I may have to cough for half an hour, halfway through the stream, we'll see what happens. But before that all happens, let's make sure I do get through the thank yous in a semi-compos mentis coherence sentence. Couldn't even get that out. So, the usual thank yous apply to Incarnate and Albo Radio and Dungeon Alchemist for all things mapping and virtual tabletop. A massive thank you and shout out to D&D Beyond for just everything D&D, because it literally does everything. Encounters, monsters, spells, magic items, character creation, you name it, it does it. And then, of course, Hero Forge, massive shout out to them for all things character visuals and sort of modelling and creating minis, which maybe one day we'll actually get to use. He says, looking at Bothrid on my shelf over there, just sat looking rather lonely. Needs his friends. So, yes, we will do a live game at some point. Of course, a huge shout out to Kassoon, 5e Magic Shop and 2 Minute Tools as well, which are my sort of in the background DM tool things that I use for puzzles and magical auras and shops and all those good things, or random tokens when I can't create them on Hero Forge. So there we go, make sure you go check those out. Of course, the music you can hear is all courtesy of Tabletop Audio or Battle Bards, and Battle Bards are also the provider of all our sound effects, bar one, I think. So if you want to get sound effects for your own home games or radio plays, podcasts, whatever you're doing, then please go use the code you see on screen, Malt and Magic, and get yourselves a nice cheeky discount. There we go, I think I got through the thank yous without making a fuck up. Go me. So please go check out all the social media links you can see at the bottom of that lower third as well. We will post all our updates on social media, and there are, speaking of live shows, there are things to come. We're in discussions. There may be something in the works. So more updates on that as it comes through. Just watching one of my players yawn his head off there. It's clearly been a long one day already, which means we need to wake them up. Of course, you can listen to us as well. You don't just have to watch us on Twitch and YouTube. You can go check out the podcast on your podcast platform of choice. I have got myself well behind with COVID because all I've done is slept, to be totally honest. So I need to catch back up. And I will apologise now for the last half an hour or so of last week's episode where I just went zoned out, didn't know what was going on at all. But I think I managed to carry it off. So, with that, go check out the podcasts, go leave a rating or review if you can. Of course, go check out the website as well. I've promised there will be some updates at some point when I get around to it. And I think that's it for my thank yous and shout outs. I hope everybody had a very good Pride month. I know it's finished now, which is a bit sad. Always seems to go far too quickly. I know my work did a massive float at Pride Parade over the weekend, which looked awesome. Maybe next time when I've not got COVID, I might go check that out. But yes, I think with that, don't think there's anything else I need to shout out right now. I'm sure the players will remind me if I've forgotten anything. So with that, there will be adult language, there will most certainly be adult humour. I didn't get it wrong this week. Let's roll. Hello.
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 How are we all doing?
Yeah,
Pretty good.
apparently ready to fall asleep.
I was going to say, Dave, you look like you're about to drop on the spot there, mate.
At least the guy who's tired doesn't press all the buttons for us.
It's fine, it's fine. Pebble's here.
Yeah,
She can do it. It's fine.
It's okay.
Pebble will just sit there and...
Yeah, I mean, she has randomly pressed the stream deck before, so, you know, we've got hope.
Well, it's all good. It's all good. Cool. Before we go descend into chaos, because I know what you lot are like, let's run down the lineup very quickly. So, I am Matt. I am the Dungeon Master. I also play your psychic character of Bothrid, the Hobgoblin Barbarian Druid Badass.
I am King Ander of Esamir, kneel before me.
Sort of says it all, really. I'll take that.
No other introduction needed. Hello, I am playing. I'm Simel, and I am playing Kirak Gravetusk, who's about to do something that's either going to be really cool or really bad.
Both. Gotta be both, surely.
So nothing really changes. Really. I've been doing the same thing for the whole campaign. It's either really good or really bad. So yeah, here we go.
Bit of good, bit of bad, bit of both.
I'm Dave. I play Dargon, the Goliath Fighter Warlock, who is, I don't know, probably going to be envoy to the king, and just sitting in wonderment what Kirik's going to do.
I think Dargon's arsehole is actually going 50p, 20p, 50p, 20p, 50p, 20p.
Yeah, pretty much.
So there we go. So last week, somebody's going to have to fill me in. No, last week, obviously, we dealt with the aftermath of the old Hydra battle. Yeah, fair one. Fair one. Yeah, we dealt with the aftermath of the battle with the old Hydra. Dealt with the boons that we'd been granted and the little new tattoos that everybody has. And then sort of ventured out into Esamir. Now it is unsubmerged, floating again. I don't know what the opposite of being submerged is, because my brain is still like clicking on at 0.5% than it needs to be.
What is the opposite?
What is the opposite of submerged? Somebody find out what the fucking opposite of submerged is. Who knows? So what else did we do? What else did we do? Yeah, it's really fucking with my head now.
Okay, we then went over to, there was apparently a telephone ringing somewhere, and we went to go and open the door.
Sorry, I didn't mean the fact that I couldn't remember what happened last week was fucking in my head. The fact that I can't remember what the opposite of submerged is fucking with my head. But yes, there was a...
People are always overzealous, but nobody's ever underzealous, are they? Or just...
You can't... Can you ever just be zealous?
I believe so, because therefore yeah.
English, great language. Anyway, back to the point we were trying to make, as we've already descended to chaos, which I love, on episode 98. I'm going to keep saying that all week. Yes, there was the magical telephone call from one of the embassies, which Ander eventually, or Ander and the team, I should say, eventually figured out how to answer, and it was coming from the Fey embassy, where you managed to answer the call and open the portal, at which point all those that had escaped into Feyliad made their way into Esamir. After a brief conversation and some pacts or agreements made with the king of Feyliad, whose name we still haven't discovered, and nobody's asked. And yes, the crew of the Winter's Tale also came through, Captain Swift having a quiet word after you'd all had a long rest, or just before you'd all had a long rest, sorry, to say that there were murmurings about Asmodeus and that he is too powerful while Nialin is in its current state. You met Lena, met Micaiah, again made some pacts, tried to decide what you were going to do and started to set up something of a war council and a war room. And then for the last 40 minutes of an episode, we had a long conversation about potentially resurrecting a very, very old foe. One who we killed almost 50 episodes ago. In fact, longer than 50 episodes ago, I think. So yes, with that, we will begin tonight's episode. We have long rested.
Oh.
What else do we wish to do? Or Wardens, what are we doing this fine day?
That's good. I was just checking. I haven't actually used anything, so didn't actually use anything the last time.
I accidentally spaffed all of your abilities.
Oh, and we can't use them now.
You can't. Have we long rested again?
No, sorry, you've only had the one long rest.
Gotcha.
Yes, because we said that we had to wait, didn't we? No, did we?
Yeah, I can't do it.
Didn't you want to resurrect
I
him
can't
and then
do
go
the
to bed?
resurrection thing today.
Oh, but
No, we had to go to bed again to resurrect.
okay, yeah, because I did go and speak to Captain Swift, and then we slept. So it was that, but that was near the start of the episode, wasn't it? So yeah, it was whatever decisions you'd made at that point, which I can't remember.
So yeah, we need to go to bed for Kirik to have resurrection to work. But what we didn't really land on is what we're going to say to him, because we toyed with trying to trick him that Asmodeus has betrayed him, or to get revenge on Asmodeus for not saving him. We've got to try and trigger him somehow for then to him spill the beans. I don't think we agreed on a plan of attack for that.
Did we also need to do Speak with Dead first? That was the other question. Is that a general consensus, or do we try?
I mean, we can. The problem with that is, I'm assuming we're talking like, yeah, characters are just talking. The problem with that is that we can only do that. I can only do that once every 10 days on the same body.
Yeah, I mean...
So it's not like...
Weren't you going to try and do Speak with Dead and then bring him back? Wasn't there like a thing you needed to do to make sure he came back? Like persuade him to come back because it was willing? I don't want to burn your spells, but do you know what I mean? Like, is it worth trying? Get through to him. Then he'll be willing to come back. We give him the door.
True. I mean, I guess the...
Or do we try it in the ritual where we say, please come back because we want to give you the opportunity for revenge and hope that works?
I mean, if there is a chance of upping our probability of him coming back, I would like to do that because it's quite... I don't know what's going to happen to me after I do this. Just being plain, I've never done something this powerful before.
What, could it kill you? Because if you do, no, we're not doing it.
I guess it won't kill me. It's just I'll be.
Okay.
I'm assuming I'll be weak for a bit.
Right. Should we? Well, I suppose if we're safe here, that's the best place to do it. Yeah.
True. If we want to get all the troops to come here, or even if we just go to Idril, or they come here, Kirik can rest up if he needs to.
So is it best if we do this now? Not say now, you know what I mean, like next, and then when you're recovering, if you need to recover at all, we can be doing other things. We can. We spoke about just trying to gather more people. I go and persuade people at Mantineer. I'm just spitballing. I don't know how many days or weeks you'll need.
That sounds like a plan. I mean, there are a couple of things I'd like to do still today. So, and obviously that gives us a day to think. Well, and to think where you might want to send messages, send envoys, send everything.
We definitely need to get word to Mantineer to see who wants to join the fight other than the healers that we've already been promised. And we definitely need to get word to Idril because that's where everyone else we know is alive. We did talk about, because I know we discussed the orcs and whether we could get them on side. But they did say if we went via...
was it Eticus?
Yes, if we went via Eticus, because they could give us a bit of a parlay and maybe make it easier to gain audience with the orcs.
Where's this conversation being had?
Where we were, which is, I guess, the
Central
embassy
chamber?
to... Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Makes you
think we're in
forward.
Are
any
you
of
in one of the
embassy-
embassies, or you're in the throne room?
Actually, it's a good point.
I think we were at the
well,
embassy because I think I
Celestial
closed
Embassy.
the door. Yeah, I think I closed the door.
You were in
Yeah.
the Celestial Embassy. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Celestial Embassy, you close the door so we can have the chat.
Cool. So still in the Celestial Embassy. That's fine.
So, what's your plans for today? I'm assuming you can't resurrect him today if you're saying you've got other things you can do.
We haven't got long left of the day, have we? Because we woke up and we've done. It'll be afternoon, wouldn't it?
Don't
You've
think
not really
so.
done anything. The only thing you've done is answered the call from the Celestial Embassy as well this morning, which was for basically Timiel to speak a message and step through briefly, and then he stepped back into that sort of field of lush green grass, at which point you also saw a blue dragonborn with a hammer over their shoulder in this radiant armour.
Did we... I don't want to say confront.
No, you didn't fart.
No, did we confront, for want of a better word, the Fey chaps about what we
Not
heard
about
from
what Captain Swift has said.
Okay.
No, but Timiel kind of gave us the answer, really, didn't he? By saying why he's in a good position based on what we've done.
That was it. That was where we got some more information, and then
All to do with the Celestial Gate.
Yes, and we realised that yes, this gate getting closer or something, or being vulnerable, or something along those lines. Can't remember what it was.
So it's a bit too far to go to Idril. Is there any way to get word to the distiller without actually going there?
Yes.
Have you still got those candles?
I do, although she's not the one with them.
Okay.
The person who has the other is in this city.
It is. Cheers. I did, however, prepare sending today because I thought, Amanda, you might want to send some messages around, so...
Good man. High Priest of Esamir, thank you.
You're welcome.
Just dishing out titles left, right and centre now.
I'll start writing these down.
Who wants the lordship?
And you'd be terrible in
Of course,
Westeros, giving out
it's all words
titles.
at the minute. That's how bad
Yeah,
COVID got. I have watched the first 6.5 seasons of Game of Thrones
Bloody hell.
in the last week.
Bloody hell.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to stop
Jesus.
at the end of season 7. That's it. I'm not watching season 8.
Season 5. Game of Thrones ends with Daenerys coming back. It's crossing the sea. That's where
Fair.
it ends.
Fair.
Nothing
Spoilers.
happened after that. Nothing happened.
Yes, just outright. Oh dear.
We'll
Cool.
just collectively
So-
imagine that.
I mean,
What
should we do
are
it
we
here? Do we need to go to your temple? Do we need to go back into the war room? What's the plan?
We could do it here. I mean, there is some. Is there? No, there isn't. I'll do it after. There's other stuff I need to do, but I can do the sending first, and then whatever else I need.
Okay.
Who do we want to send messages to?
We need to make sure everyone's okay at Idril. So we need to get through to the distiller and tell them if they can to either teleport us there for parley or they come here, depending on what's possible.
Oh, that's a good point. No, it's not like a... Is it sending circle? What's it thing here?
Teleportation circle.
Yeah, that one. Can we not check around, see if there's one available? Might give them a bit of a route here.
Let's not bad shout.
I will ask Shank if he remembers there being one back in there.
As I very, very quickly go and pull up my map of Esme. So, what are you asking? What are you asking Shank specifically?
I would like to ask Shank if he, back in the time when this land or this Esmir was in its full glory, does he remember any teleportation circles that were used for quick travel?
Well, other than the the embassy portals, do you know, I think there might have been one. Let's roll a check for Shank. But you know, come to think of it, no, I can't remember. Maybe, it's very, very foggy. When are we going to stab something?
Not long. Well, you'll have more than your stabbing's worth of stabbing soon. But we need to rally the troops first. For Nialin.
Well, I suppose if you're looking for teleportation circles, you best find somebody somewhere where a wizard might, or a mage might, build one.
Okay. Right. So, we need to... Shank thinks there might have been one. He can't quite remember, but it's plausible. We just need to find a place in the city that looks like it would have been where a mage would have one. So,
you've got portals to other dimensions. They've surely got to be some sort of gateway to dimensional, transport. So. Are you either saying we're looking for a wizard's tower, or are we looking for somewhere that looks like these embassies, like it's an intentional? I would almost guess it might even be fortified. So it's either going to be where a wizard lived or somewhere fortified, like these embassies.
It's not something that the Raven Queen's followers can do, is it? So it's not going to be in the temple.
No. From my limited knowledge of this stuff, it's not really very celestial in nature. It's more those book learned people learn how to move about. If you remember, Kirit, you're able to do that special thing of bringing us back to temples, but that's different. I think it, as you say, must be like a mage. It's a very arcane in nature.
If you're a king, though, and you wanted a quick escape route or a quick travel route, you'd want it in your keep, wouldn't you? Rather than far away from where you...
Well, you do, but...
You need a quick escape.
Yeah, but if you think strategically, right, what you want to do is... That is also an inroad for someone to be able to use it, get in, stab you, get out. So that's bad planning, I think. We can check, but I would say what you would always do as a king is have someone who knows how to move you in short distances very quickly. So, for instance, they'll be able to dimension door you to it and then escape. That would say that it would be within 600 feet of your chair.
Would the protective runes prevent you from passing by the walls via teleportation?
Well, quite possibly. But
some things can do that, so...
We can still try. I mean, it all depends whether it's like the same plane of travel or not.
Well, we need a quick way to scour the whole city quickly. Do you think Azazel could do that?
I can certainly give it a go. I can also see if I can see any auras from anywhere other than the walls. So, let's give it a go. Let's go outside. I'll go up to the door and I'll pull it open.
Okay. You pull it open, there's that muted light that exists all over Nialin now that it's been covered in this sort of shadowy cloud at all times. There are people milling about everywhere now, and you can see various structures have begun to either be rebuilt or built. There's some fortifications being put up around the city, in places where the walls are either broken or thin. There are camps being set up, some inside some of the ruined buildings, others just being set up out of whatever materials they can bring through from, or have brought through from Phaliad. You see that the crew of the Winter's Tale themselves are particularly good with the woodworking skills and the carpentry, so they are helping out quite a bit. You can see Micaiah is directing a number of River's End Rangers, and Lena's also sort of wandering around and overseeing things and sort of chatting to people here and there. Where are you going?
I'm actually not going to try and go very far at all, but I am going to bump out Azazel.
Okay.
Azazel appears on my shoulder, and then telepathically I'll say, I've got the usual type of job for you. Can you fly up, but keep close this time? I think you should be able to see within range. And as you do, I'll guide you, so stay close. What I'm trying to do is use the range of the familiar to make sure that I can actually see and guide Azazel and look myself for any buildings that seem to be of interest. I don't mind if I see a couple, I'm like, we'll check that one, and that one sort of thing.
Okay. So as Azazel sort of launches off your shoulder and shoots up into the sky, I need you to use Azazel's eyes to make me a perception check, please.
Okay. Nice. 21.
Cool. So as Azazel sort of shoots up and then levels off and hovers within range, you, through her eyes, his eyes, its eyes, their eyes,
There.
survey now this grand city beneath you, where you can see at the heart of the city is that keep where the throne room is, and there's these destroyed buildings sort of everywhere. You can see the three embassies. I need to stop trying to call them the three Fey embassies, because they're not. The three embassies, you see the temple to the Raven Queen, both of those sets of buildings on the southern end of the city. And you see where the great gatehouses, if you like, of the city were. At the far northern end, you see a single one that led out to a bridge which has long been destroyed. And actually there is a gap between the water's edge of the lock and the actual city. There's no way to sort of bridge that gap right now. You can see the gatehouse to the east, where the docks once were, and another gatehouse to the south, where it looks like there was another dock of sorts, or at least something, another entrance into the city was built there. Looks like it may have once been a shipyard or something like that. The only other building of note is to the northeast, and it looks like it's almost Parthenon-esque in the fact that it's this building with great columns, but you can see under that there are sub-buildings, if you like, or smaller buildings all built into this. The only other thing with a 23 that Azazel would notice is this subtle glow coming from the northwest of the city. And there's a slight bluish shine that seems to come from the floor around there somewhere.
Okay. So while I'm looking through his eyes, the rest of the party will see that my eyes are basically just glazed over with a pale golden light, and I'm sort of just every now and then just looking like this. So it looks entirely weird to them, but after seeing what I see, I'll call Azazel back and then blink out and just wait for it to land on my shoulder.
Okay, as Azazel turns, there is this screech in the air.
No.
Sounds like a bird calling.
I'll have essentially. I'm backing myself now, so I'll look up at Azazel.
Okay. As you look up and you can see Azazel sort of swirling and slowly coming back down, you look to the northeast in the sky, and you can see what looks like a small cloud that seems to be moving very, very quickly.
But we heard a bird screech as well.
You heard a screech, yeah. Sounded like a bird screech.
Did it sound like a bird screech?
Make me a nature check, please.
Oh, I'm well good at
I'll
that.
do that as well. That's pretty shit. It was a 10.
Nature? Oh boy, okay.
Oh, 30. Oh no, all animals. I'm like Attenborough.
18.
18. Let's do one for Bothrid as well, since he's a druid. Bothrid gets 26. So, everybody except Dargon hears that screech, and it sounds like a hawk or an eagle or something like that, and you're all drawn up to now where this small cloud is moving very rapidly. And as it gets closer and closer, you can see that this cloud becomes a number of specks. There is a larger speck in the middle, if you like, and then these smaller specks sort of flying around. Almost looks like they are swarming around this larger creature. Gets closer and closer and closer, and you can see now that there is a hawk. Quite a large hawk that is just streaking down towards the city. And around it are these what were once crows, but are now just bits of feathers, flesh and bone, reanimated as they dive into the hawk and try and catch bits and take bits of it apart. And it gets closer and closer. And just as it sort of gets over the city, one of these undead crows just... and you see a spray of red. And the hawk just... drops. As it drops, these crows follow and
Is
begin
it dropping outside of the city or inside?
Looks like it's going to drop inside the city, maybe in that northeastern region somewhere. But it drops and drops and drops. And it gets to a point where it continues to drop, but the crows that are following just pummel into this invisible shield. There is a surge of magical energy, and these 10, 12 undead crows just become dust and ash as the hawk just spirals down.
Did it look like a normal-sized hawk?
Looked like a large hawk, but as a hawk, it looked like a hawk.
I'd move in, see what the fuck just happened.
Yeah,
So it's interesting that it allowed the hawk through and not obviously the evil zombie bird. So it must know it only lets friendlies through.
Undead though. Might not let undead in.
Yeah,
True.
I'll be straight behind Kirik and heading towards that. I won't have told them anything about what I saw yet.
Okay, so you all rush over. You run past the keep, and you can see there's a number of people that are sort of stopped and are now focusing their attention. You arrive to find 2 or 3 rangers of Phaliad sort of hovering around this corpse, and as you approach they all step back and you see a crumpled, bloody corpse of a hawk, but attached to its leg you see a small leather pouch tied.
Can I throw up detect magic and just see if this hawk is anything else?
Okay. Let's load up some auras.
I
As you
will
cast-
use Eyes of the Dead as well. Eyes of the Grave.
Eyes of the Grave. Cool. Excuse me. As you cast Detect Magic, Dargon, and your eyes take on that golden sheen again, but this time you're looking around for magical auras. As you focus in on the hawk, there is a dying greyish aura around it that just fades into nothing.
Around the
With
whole
Eyes of the
crow?
Grave around the whole hawk,
The
it
hawk,
sort of
yeah.
fades as the hawk dies. Or as
Okay.
that life force goes. With Eyes of the Grave, there's nothing around the hawk itself, but Kirik, as you turn your eyes up, you can see now where the crows have turned to ash and dust as they've hit this shield. You can just see these dying embers of effect where you would recognise undead.
The hawk is clear. So I guess we move to the pouch and see. Darwin, did you see anything?
I don't see anything on the actual pouch itself, do I?
Nope.
No, there was a faint bit of magic in the crow, but the hawk, but I wonder whether that was what got it here, if you know what I mean. I'm guessing it's a message bird.
Is there anything attached to the bird's legs, like
Yeah, there's
a
this
carrier pigeon would have?
there's this scroll here. I can't see anything magical, so I'll happily get it out if you like.
Yeah.
I will take it out.
Sorry, Matt.
Maybe from Idril.
What direction did the eagle come from?
The hawk came from the northeast. So as you're looking northeast, it was coming that direction. So it was travelling southwest.
I mean,
Northeast.
the direction it
Mountaineer.
came from could be Mountaineer, could be Idril. I wanted to check it wasn't coming from Moonbright, but they're all in that area, but I don't think Moonbright's got anyone that we want to speak
Moonbright,
to.
yeah.
So,
Well, let's check what it is then.
here we go. I'll unfold it.
Okay, so you reach into the leather pouch, sort of remove the cap and take out a small rolled up piece of parchment. Which, as you uncurl it, has a strange seal on the right hand side, which you're not familiar with.
I had visions of
Right,
a seal when you said that. I don't know why.
Me too, and I just didn't know how to successfully make the noise.
Do I recognise a seal, by the way?
That's what I'm just going to...
Yes, because
Let's
that
put-
you don't recognise a seal is definitely for Dargon, because I can guarantee you he wouldn't have done. I could roll a check and still know he wouldn't.
Gotta pull my stage background one more time.
Yeah.
Yes, roll me a... Ooh, I'm going to say roll me a straight wisdom check, but add your proficiency bonus, please.
It seems to have a crest on it, boys.
Yeah, same, yeah.
21.
Okay.
21.
You have studied the great houses and great cities of Nialin, and as you sort of see Dargon unfurl this small piece of parchment, you see the symbol of a book with a hawk, funnily enough, overlaid over the top of it, or a bird, if you like. And this is, from what you recall, the seal of Idril.
Called it.
Nice.
Dargon, as you
Yes.
unfurl this parchment then and begin to read, it begins with, to the Lord of Esamir, We of the Crystalline Circle. Did I get that right? Or was that my other campaign? Sorry.
No, that's what you called them last week.
Where's one caller?
Did I call them that last week?
Yeah, I've got that written down.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I just had a total brain fart then. No, it was the Crystalline Circle. I did get it.
Two
Sorry.
weeks in a row, obviously.
As a DM, I've just gone, oh shit, is that the right campaign? No, it's fine. So, yes.
I was going to call it...
Is that the D&D equivalent of calling your wife by your mistress's name or something?
I wouldn't know, mate.
And it does, obviously.
So, it reads, to the Lord of Esamir, we of the Crystalline Circle have something of yours. We wish, we seek entry into your great city. Should you wish to allow us, please inscribe this circle in your position of choice and send word when it is done. And there is a diagram next to this sort of seal in the end of the message, which looks like a diagram of a teleportation circle. Does appear to be just geometric shapes and weird runes to you, Dargon.
Bunch of weirdos.
And then there's the seal of Idril, and it is signed the Prime Arcanum.
Grand Poupard. What? Well,
last time I tried to do a teleportation circle, I was not very well for a bit. So
I'm sure there are wizards here that can do it.
Right. I mean, the trap.
Unless
anyone?
you just need to well, there is that.
I mean, Guy, are you that naive? Immediately, look, as you know, your security, your lordship, right? Do you not think we want to check this? Maybe.
I mean, the symbol checks out, so.
Oh yeah. So they've overrun Idril. They've forced us to send this, and they currently are waiting for us to open the frigging doors and let them in.
Well, are there any signs of forgery? And you should be good at seeing that.
It's true. I'm just thinking, if it was a trap, they would have called me king, right? To try and get him a good books. They've called me Lord of Esamir. So obviously they obviously think themselves of a high station, so it could be them.
Well, you say that, but I mean, is that not like sort of interchangeable? You know.
And I'm not sure. How would I tell if it's a forgery if I don't know what the original crest looked like? I've never seen it before.
I'm gonna cast sending to Idril.
Yeah, just ask them.
Yeah, I mean, be a lot better because, as I say, like, I'm covering our bases. All right.
It's a good call because if you just send it's ready and they go, what's ready? Dargon's right. And actually, I don't think we need a wizard to do it.
Can you
If it's
send
just drawing
to a place? Or do you need to know a specific person?
Well,
Prime Arcanum.
We have the name. Possibly even something of theirs, because they have now written it, potentially.
Double check.
But
Sending
to the
requires
point
to be familiar with a
With which you are familiar, so whatever that might.
Okay, what about the fact that we know that... Sorry. Don't you know people there? Because some of our people and the Malt Masters went there. Speak to them at Idril to confirm that we've just got a dead orc.
Who do we know that's in there?
I mean, I thought that we knew that some of the Malt Masters went there. Am I wrong?
Yeah. I would think the distiller would be held in high regard by them. So she would be in the inner circle, no pun intended, enough to know that they've sent a message. So if you speak to her, she would know that they've sent that message, if it's genuine. And I don't think we would need a wizard to draw the circle because we're not activating it, we're just drawing it.
Yeah, but they do know how to do it properly, I'm assuming. So if there is one here, I prefer them to do it than me, because I will probably end up putting a penis in it, and I don't mean to. Drawing one.
He meant, okay, I was both. Why would you put your dick in it, Dagon?
Well, you never know. It could transport you to places where you've never been before, you know.
I think even Bothrid at this point is just sat there going,
I'm going to cast Sending.
I was going to go off. Do you think that's what Doctor Strange does? He just creates a and puts his dick in, and it just comes out in Matt's mouth.
let's be fair, it's not going to be Doctor Strange, it's going to be Wong.
His name is Wong.
While Kirik is casting Sanding, and we'll do so shortly, can I just quickly turn to one of the rangers and go, you know any wizards that you brought with you? Could they meet us here?
They're going to look at each other. Not wizards. We have natural mages and our rangers.
Do any of them know how to draw this? And I'll show them that the drawn symbol. They work in these types of symbols and stuff.
I could draw that. It's just a matter of copying it.
All right, fine. Sure.
Unless you wish to activate it, there's no magical skill involved in drawing something, surely.
I don't know, these arcade things. You know, they're a bit weird.
Well, just don't fuck up the symbols. I have no idea. I should point out I'm
Very well.
good with a quarterstaff and a bow.
Right, well, if we haven't got any wizards, we will try and do it ourselves. Thank you anyway.
Pass me my crayons, and I'll attempt to draw it while Kirik's sending.
Where are you going to draw?
Where are we going to do it? I would wait until we find out some more information.
On Dagon's
While
back,
you're figuring that out, Kirik, who are you sending to?
Distiller.
The distiller. What are you sending to the distiller?
Oh boy, 25 words. There's a lot of shit I want to say.
We've used a lot just then.
Oh boy, 25 words. That's a lot of shit.
I was thinking more about the fact that Kirik at this point is like, I really wish it was longer because I need a fucking therapist right now. With these two jabbering on beside me.
So I will say, the city has risen. Did Idril send message? If so, give us 2 hours. If not, something is coming.
Look busy.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. There is a minute or two of silence, Kirik. And the only thing you hear back is a pained scream.
No.
And in the background, you can just hear this maniacal...
Fuck.
And in that moment, you realise the distiller is a captive.
So it might have been Idril that sent it. Distiller just might not be there.
We have a problem.
I didn't send it.
Right, you're not limited to 25 words now. You need to elaborate.
The distiller is captured.
So is Idril taken?
I don't know. Is my answer to that.
Okay. I mean, I was kind of hoping this was going to be definitive.
Is there a way to talk to somebody else we know is in Idril to see if it's the same situation, or whether it's just a distiller that's been captured? Because she was one of the only malt masters left that we knew the whereabouts of. Or
What about
do
the
we
Cooper? Do we
scry?
know what the Cooper is?
I mean...
The blender, we know the blender and Lilith and the distiller went to Idril. Didn't the Cooper
Try the blender.
go back to Moonbright to get people?
Could try the blender.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth checking someone else.
I will send the same message to Idril. To the blender, sorry.
Okay. So you send a similarly worded message to the blender. And again, there's a couple of minutes of silence as you eagerly wait a response. And all you get back is just this.
Oh, motherfucker.
Is she masturbating? Oh, okay, never mind. Fuck.
Did they go to Idril? Did they go there?
Did they make it? Well, they went through a portal from the Malt Masters.
No, I mean...
Did you see them go through a portal from the Malt Masters?
We see everybody else did apart from them. Because obviously the distiller was holding the portal open, wasn't she? Oh, but they're still in the keep.
Did Mephisto go?
What about Lion Face? What's his name? Like an ethereal.
I take
Should
it
we just
you
ring
can't.
everybody we know?
I take it you can't do that thing where you look on the place.
I can.
I'm not
Can.
letting
We might need to.
I'm not letting anyone draw this symbol until we know that Idril's actually okay, and we may
Should
have
have
just
put
been
my crayons away.
Yeah, rub out that penis.
And just graffitied on his own fucking city walls. You dong.
Big veiny one. This is not what I expected to happen.
While I remember, fellas,
Choose a location.
in this direction. Can I look around? Are we near the building I saw?
You are. You are mere feet away from this huge Parthenon-like building. As I say, there's these huge marble columns and stairs leading up. But as you look underneath, you can see the columns have almost been built over the top. And there's small rooms and buildings of varying sizes inside. There is also something of a barnacle-covered and ruined plaque at the top, which roughly, from what you can see, says something like Ildhall's Mere.
Okay. By the way, chaps, this building caught my eye when I was looking about. So, while we're deliberating, shall we go inside and have a look? Also, nearer to where we were earlier, northwest, there was something that caught my eye. Sort of a blue light or something, but no, I'm not quite sure what it was. There's a lot going on in this city. Just you know, I just tried to look at the two important things. Shall we go and have a look in here while we're deliberating who we spy on?
I mean, who do we want? Who do we want to scry on? Because we can either do it Idril, or I can try to figure out what's happening, where the distiller is.
Do you have to know the person?
I don't.
So I'm thinking, could
But
you do the
knowing them is easier. Because
so we are
especially if they're a powerful wizard, they will be, I assume, ready to block any kind of the Idril itself might be protected against
That's true.
that sort of magic.
That's very true. Well, the distiller then it's got to be. We need to. If we find out where she is, we either know she's stuck at the keep and she needs rescuing, or she's at Idril and Idril's fucked.
Okay, well,
Are we really going to know that if they're like just trapped in a room? Are we going to know what that room looks like?
I knew about Vraco.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Did you say the blue glow is coming from the building you saw? Is coming from a different direction from the building?
Different direction, closer to where we were earlier, northwest of the main city.
Not strictly closer to where you were. If you think you were more down the southern end, you're at the northeastern point. This was coming from the northwestern area of the city.
Well, I remember teleportation circles being a bluey light.
Will you?
Yeah.
Make me an
I've seen
Arcana
them
check,
before.
please.
Coming at you with a 16.
16. You have seen blue magic used in teleportation circles, but you're also very aware that magic is quite personal to the individual. And colours and style of magic, again, is very, very personal to the individual casting it. As you are aware with your own magical casting abilities.
Yes.
Magic casting abilities for literally the whole group.
Right. Should I go and scry? And then, if you guys want to go and check on the light, take Bothrid with you, and I will meet you in about half an hour.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. And we'll come up with a plan, even if it is draw it and get ready to break it if the wrong people come through. I don't know, but you get that information, we'll find out what else we need. We'll go and see this. Rangers, do you mind staying with Kirik, please?
Of course. Whatever you need.
No, thank you. We'll be on the
I'll go
northwest
to
of the
temple.
city.
Okay. So you depart. It's going to take Kirik and the Rangers longer to get to the temple. So as you are wandering off, and Dargon, Bothrid's probably going to go with Kirik as well. Andrew and Dargon, you make a move to the west from where you are. Dargon roughly following where he remembers where this blue glow was. And as you turn, you weave around a few buildings, you can now see a faint blue glow. Made only brighter by the fact that Nialin is covered in this dim cloud. You can see the old gate to the city. This huge wood and metal construction, which still stands firm, but with rocks falling around it. And you know, Dargon specifically, that the other side there is a beginning of a bridge which is now destroyed. But your attention is drawn further west still. Not too far away. There is a glow coming from the ground. not far from a building of sorts. As you approach closer, you can see this small crater of sorts. And protruding from the ground is a clear crystal.
This is all with detect magic off, right?
It is with detect magic off.
So, with such an artifact, I would like to enable detect magic again and see what else I see from this crystal.
Make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Nice. Oh, there it is. Oh, bloody hell, 27.
27. As you turn detect magic on, your senses are assaulted by rainbow waves that are just coming off of this stone. There is a moment where you think you may go both blind and mad at the same time, but somehow you just sort of control yourself and close your eyes.
I'll cancel it.
And as you look on, past this blue glow, and you see this clear crystal that protrudes from the ground, you can see that there are these very faint veins across the crystal. Some blue, some pink, purplish, magenta type colour is the blue ones that currently glow.
I've seen this material before.
Make me a nature check, please.
Does that assault on my magical senses also remind me of what it happened when I did detect magic in the Feywild?
Somewhat similar. What you get is the impression that this is a source of raw, unbridled magical power.
Okay, I don't intentionally consider it from the Fey realm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a 16 on the nature check, but technically it was a 1 roll. So I've got plus 15 for that.
So it was a natural 1.
Yeah.
Still a 16 though. Still a 16. The veins seem similar, despite them being much fainter, much fainter than you're used to. The only other time you've seen veins like this have been on a dark stone.
Wrathstrike.
Black stone. Wrathstrike indeed.
Oh. I want to touch it. That's valuable.
Of course
Do you want to touch
it? Of course you fucking do. Why do you always do this when the cleric's not there?
Dagon.
Yes.
I don't know what it does, but I want it.
And are you touching it?
Alright, Magpie. If he goes for it, I will try and stop him.
Oh boy.
Does the crater look fresh, or does it look like it was there and it's been underwater with the whole time?
So when I say crater, it doesn't look like something's impacted in. It looks like the ground around has eroded away and this stone has been exposed.
Oh, okay.
I know I'd used the wrong word there.
I mean, it looks fucking powerful, whatever it is.
I feel like we can use it somehow, either to power the city,
or blow us up.
What about if we could use it against our enemies?
And
Do
get
you think I
another,
could put it inside the bag of holding without touching it?
I'm going to say, get an oven mitt and pick it up.
Like a pooper scooper. So what I'll do, I'll get my bag of holding and I'll pick it up like how you pick up poo with a poo bag. so as not to touch it.
You get the bag of holding, and the bag of holding just fits over the end. This thing is huge.
Oh.
Your fingers brush against the stone. There's no way you're not touching the fucking stone trying to put a bloody condom on the end of it.
Yeah.
I need a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh god, I'm well good at them.
Here we go.
I might use the lucky point depending on what this says. You use a lucky point, Mr. DM. Not quite happy with that one. Oh, that one's worse. Brilliant. I've got an 11 and a 7, so, you know, there's that.
Oh, well, you reigned for a day, so cool.
There is a magical flash.
It's more than some. More than some.
And you fly backwards. 20 feet. You are going to take 7 points of bludgeoning damage as you land and roll.
That could have been worse, couldn't it?
About a second after
You are
that,
also
I'll just
going
go,
to
Ander, no!
Everything Ander hears is,
So it's 7 bludgeoning damage, and I'm now what?
You're also going to take 17 points of psychic damage, and you feel sapped. You feel drained.
You said 17, right?
17 points of psychic damage.
Okay. I heard 17. I was like, oh boy.
It's only his fingertips that brushed it.
Damn.
However, you feel drained. I'm going to send you a DM's whisper.
Oh, I've now got superpowers.
No.
No, you've lost a spell slot or something.
At the very least.
I'm feeble-minded, or some form of learning disability or something now.
Or as Ander would call it, erectile dysfunction.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
it could have
man.
worked. I could have got bludgeoning damage, psychic damage, and I could have avoided my bowels. So it could have been worse.
What did you get on your Constitution saving throw? 8?
11.
Ander shits himself.
It's above 10. Above 10.
Hang on,
Under 10 is the shit
Fine.
yourself.
There's
I was
like
gonna
10, you're right.
where's that conditions feat? Hang on a minute. Yeah, I got prone, restrained. I can't see shit oneself there.
Yeah, soiled.
It's homebrewed. It's homebrewed.
It's homebrewed, yeah.
Definitely homebrewed, this one.
You now have a... You now
Seems
have
I homebrewed the fucking rock.
Yeah, you
Oh,
now,
Matt, you bastard.
you now have half speed and you waddle.
The fucking thing.
I tried not to.
You tried to shove a bag of holding on the end.
Admittedly, neither of us asked how big this crystal was.
Very true.
I shall go up to Ander and I'll be like, hey, that didn't like getting
do I
touched,
have a
did it?
loophole? I have gloves of thievery on. I didn't touch it with my skin. Does that count?
No.
You're always going to let that
Worth
slip.
a go, though, isn't it?
Kirik and Bothrid, with your ranger companions, as you are walking, you're probably past the keep at this point, and you just hear this and there is sort of smoke that comes from the northwest. Well, probably, northwest from where you are currently. And you continue on your journey towards the temple.
Eric has I sense a presence I've not felt since, and then carries on. Moment. Flashbacks to the lighthouse. We're like, I'm sure he wouldn't do the same thing again. And carry on. I'm sure he's fine.
I'll pick Ander up and be like, brush him off and like, well, that went well. Maybe we just make sure people don't touch this and come back to it later, yeah?
Yeah, can we keep this between ourselves?
Absolutely not.
Your king commands it. Swear it up.
Nice try, light fingered. Come on.
Oh.
Cool. So, Kirik, you now hurry, thinking, oh, fuck's sake. And you reach the temple. You enter, and you sort of walk up those stairs and enter inside. You notice the rangers themselves do not enter. They stay outside. Bothred, however, comes straight in. And sort of shivers a little bit as he steps inside. It's always cold in here.
It is, yeah. Right, I'm going to take a moment, Bothrid. If you can go outside if you feel uncomfortable there, you don't have to stay.
I'll stay with you. Never know what might happen.
All right then. I, in that case, will kneel on like the, what do you call it? It's not moss, like ground area.
The ground
No,
area.
like,
Yeah, it's sort of like a marble-ish floor. If you remember, in the centre there was that pool of water.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm getting it confused with the one in the Malt Master
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am. I will, in that case, kneel just at the edge of the pool.
Okay.
And the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cast Word of Recall on this temple.
Okay. So you inscribe. I've got to quickly look at my. In fact, you can describe that one to me.
Does that...
Oh yes. There will be just a ripple in the water in front of me, and there'll almost be like a settle of my body into the temple as I mark it as somewhere I can be teleported to whenever I cast a spell.
Okay. As you complete the casting of this spell, the pool itself just sort of like a single ripple that seems to emanate throughout the temple. And you just see Bothrid go,
Sorry.
What are you doing, Kirik?
Just making sure that we can come back here whenever we're in trouble.
Oh, okay.
When?
And then I'm going to then turn my eyes towards the water, sort of like leaning slightly to see my reflection in it, and focusing on my image. I'm going to try and look past it as I will cast Scrying on... Which one sounded worse out of the Distill and the Blender?
Hard to say, really.
Okay.
The
Blender
Blender
spoke, right?
specifically said help in a very weak voice, whereas the Distiller sort of screamed slightly.
I am going to scry on the Blender in that case.
What's your spell save DC?
My spell save DC is 19.
Ba-dum-bum-ba-dum. Okay.
Notes.
It's more character sheets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh boy.
The surface of the pool ripples and then stops and goes like ice. And you feel yourself almost drawn into it. And your vision becomes nothing but the pool. And then orange glow begins to seep in from around the edge. And you see before you a strange alien environment. You see the blender on a, or tied to this X-shaped structure, sort of arms and legs splayed out, bloody wounds covering her body. The garments she wore, rags. And you see her just hanging limply. And then there's a moment where she stirs and looks at you. Help. Roll me a straight wisdom check, please. Well, in fact, roll me a spellcasting ability check, rather.
Yeah, wisdom check. 11.
Your vision recedes back slightly. And you're still focused on the blender, but you notice to the left and right there are other shadowy figures, blurred figures. You try and expand your vision out, but you're focused on the blender. And there's a shape that steps behind her. Red skin, flowing noble robes, and a tiny knife that just as it cuts across her cheek. And you can see it not only cuts but burns, and the skin begins to blister around the wound. And you hear the voice. You hear his voice. Come now. Call them, or your suffering will continue. Bring them here, and I will end this. This does not have to go on for the four of you. And your others, which I've brought. 12 I need. 12 I almost have. Bring them. Call them. And I will end it.
Do I see the face of this individual? Do I
You do after a
recognize this
moment.
individual?
As a figure steps round, and they are tall. They are bigger than Dargon, almost giant, but even that you suspect is not a true aspect. As they lean down, and these horns just curl up, and you can see a black, jagged crown hanging at the waist. This black metal scepter with a giant ruby on the end. And then the figure spins and turns and looks directly at you.
Dispel. Immediately.
Please tell me that Kirik just, went...
I'm gone, motherfucker!
It was that.
Yep. Clap, clap. Fuck. He's here.
Or is she there?
It's difficult to do cross-play now, isn't it? Sorry, I know this is out of the...
It's impossible. It's impossible to do cross-playing.
Oh! Come back and tell us. I want to talk about it.
A particular creature. You choose a particular creature that is on the same plane of existence as you.
Shoot!
He's here.
And at that point, I come in carrying Ander and kick the door open. No, I'm joking.
And you could, if you wanted.
I will say there is a moment where Bothrid wanders over. Kirik? Kirik, you okay? Look a bit... well, I wouldn't say green, but... green.
Yeah, I'm... We have problems.
Well, we always have problems, and there's one.
No, we have Asmodeus problems.
Right.
Bothrid's got this half grin that fades when he now looks directly at your face. We got big problems.
Yeah, we do.
Yours. Bothrid runs and sprints to the door, and as he pushes the door open, two rangers, elven rangers, just fuck. And he sprints down the stairs and sees Dargon sort of patting down Ander, but still walking as Ander's still smoking slightly. Boys, quick, King and you in Kirik saw something. Big trouble.
Oh man, something's up. He's struggling to speak again. Right. Yeah, we're on our way, Bothrid. Right. Oh, remind me to tell you what just happened to Ander, because it was fucking hilarious.
No time.
Oh, I think Bothrid runs business.
Kirik, you alright in there? You still alive? And we taken by the Raven Queen yet?
No, not yet.
So, has Idril fallen? Is it what we think?
I scried on the blender.
Oh, okay.
The blender was tied to this contraption. There was orange light everywhere, so I can only assume that they're in the Black City.
Oh. Bugger.
I saw Asmodeus.
What?
I saw him. He was there. He's here.
Yeah.
He also said he was talking to the blender and implying that he has the hold of 4 of the Malt Masters.
Okay.
So we can assume that he has blender and distiller, and then the other 2. I don't know who that might be.
Right. I mean, that's not good.
How do you know he has 4 of them? Did you see them?
No, but he mentioned that as soon as the blender calls us, I will. That's a lot of assumption here, but he wants us to go to him.
He definitely was talking about them and not anything else.
He mentioned the 12 as well. He needs the 12.
As in the gods?
It was the gods,
Or
wasn't it?
Or does it? If he's got the blender, the champions of the gods.
Or,
Representatives, yes.
Or the artifacts.
Or the artifact. He needs, well...
What
I
if
mean,
the artifacts...
whatever the artifacts are, I'm gonna look at you, Dargon, and look at the armor, and then kind of like grasp my shield, like they're with us. So
Has he got? Oh, has he got the others?
Got one on my head.
crown, yeah,
So
yeah,
is it
true.
okay? So guessing 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got 8.
So he said he had 4, right?
He said he has 4. Well,
Oh.
4 of them, yeah.
You count as 2, Dagon, because you've got Everlight and Paylor.
Ah, that's what I was saying. Like, yeah. So
Raven
that's what
Queen,
I'm
I'm
saying.
Mayun.
4. So there's
I have-
still 4 more. Well,
Lena. Lena's with us.
so she got something.
Yes, I'm
Right.
just trying to find the notes where I wrote down who's linked to which god.
I was just going to say, we had this discussion about 3 months
Mephisto.
/ 3 days ago.
Mephisto, Cooper, the Deluan elves do Coralin, so he might have them. The Distiller's Ioun, but I'm Ioun. The Archdeacon, he's going to have him because he's Cord.
That's why they
Blender.
picked him first.
The Blender is the Wild Mother. Dargon, your Paylor,
Yeah,
and Everlight.
and Everlight
Kirik
now.
is the Raven Queen, and Lena
Yeah.
is the Moonweaver lady.
He does have all of them.
So he's got us 3, Lena,
Yeah,
that he needs. That's 6. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5.
Then he also needs Moradin, so he might have Remley, or he needs Remley.
Yeah, but they may be saying calling them.
We also don't know who represents the Law Bearer yet, unless we figured that one out.
Okay. Oh, well, this was very different information as to what I thought we were going to get. I mean, we just wanted to see whether we open up this thing to Idril.
So does that
however,
mean what the Hawk sent is a trap? And because he said if we called them, you might have said that to somebody else who is also caught, and they've sent that message to us to call us.
no, that was happening now. As in, if I'm right, you are seeing them as they are now. That Hawk had time to get here, so it was sent yesterday. So,
Yeah, but if he's torturing more than one prisoner, somebody could have given us up.
I hate to be the one suggested because I was the one who denied it, but maybe we do need to write this circle and then barricade ourselves in and hope for the best. Kirik, do you mind us if we walk and talk? Let's get back to that Parthenon place, because I think it's worth checking that out and maybe putting the circle in there.
Yeah.
Do you need a hand up? And I'll give out a hand.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Bothrid, after you. Back to where we were before. Rangers, stay with us. And you find 2 others.
The Rangers are currently picking themselves up off the floor where they've just both been smacked by fucking huge great doors.
Look lively, lads, and find 2 other people.
Sorry, do I look like a lad? Fuck you.
Do I look like I'm in the mood? Find 2 other people and follow us right now.
And she's literally sort of adjusting her nose where there's blood pouring from her nose. She's like, sure.
I'll grab
Allow
a
me. I'll touch your nose and cure all wounds it.
Nice.
Roll me the healing on
As
that
long as I
one.
have consent to touch her face, obviously.
She's just there like, okay.
I'm a peacekeeping king, Dagon, FYI.
fucking pansies can't get him smacked by a door and carry on.
They've only got 50 hit points, probably. Or else sons. You're there at 230.
On a war footing.
So roll with the healing, sorry, of cure wounds.
Sorry. I got distracted by being pedantic.
That's okay.
1d8 plus my spell casting ability modifier. Is that going to be impacted by my DM's whisper?
Oh boy.
Oh yes.
So, my spell casting modifier is +5, so 6.
6 in total.
Yeah.
So I'll say Ander reaches out and sort of places 2 fingers on this elf's nose, or Eladrin's nose, I should say, and there is almost like a as the energy finally surges into the face, and they're a bit like, fuck, Jesus, fucking H Christ. Or don't say Jesus fucking H Christ, but Krellin's fucking bumhole. You've not done that before, I take it?
I'm currently suffering from performance issues.
Ineptitude? Sorry. Your grace.
What was that?
I may have done a thing, and I don't know why or how I'm affected yet, but I seem to be affected magically, should we say. I might be a bit magically limp. I touched the crystal, alright? I didn't mean to. I tried to put it in the bag without touching it. And it blew me. Well, it didn't blow me. It blew me away. Not that kind of crystal. Shot me across the room.
That's what I thought you meant when you said it the first time.
Walk and talk, lads. Walk and talk. Come on.
Yeah. Long story short, clear after crystal.
You tried stopping Bothrid. Jeez. It was just up here.
Just get told off for tugging it in the bath when I was there. There we go. Matt's only smiling because he got told off for the same thing when he was a kid.
I was trying to keep a straight face. Yeah, I do get told off for it now. You make your way back to the northeastern side of the city, or northeastern corner of the city, I should say, and you find this Greek-looking building, if you like, with these buildings inside it. It's almost like there's a number of structures, and then this overarching structure built around it to house it. And again, you can see that Ildhall's Mere on the plaque at the top.
Go in.
Yeah, we go in.
Is it possible to clean it to see what the plaque says, or is it all crusted on barnacles?
I mean, and if you want to try and fly up there and do it, then yeah, feel free.
I could fly if I wanted to, so I could Dagon. No, it's not.
Kirik steps in.
Wasting that to clean a fucking site.
I'm not using this. No.
You step in and the light, it gets darker in here. Obviously there's a great stone structure over the top. But you can see now a number of different buildings of various structure and architecture and style. Make me an investigation check, please.
Also, just paranoid. Whilst we're walking here, I would like to cast See Invisibility and make sure that no one is scrying on me.
Okay.
Investigation check, you say?
16.
Yes, please.
26 for me.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, that's going to be real low. That's going to be 10.
Okay. Kirik, you get slightly distracted by thinking, hang on a moment, I don't trust anything anymore, and you cast See Invisibility and begin to look around and desperately trying to spot any orbs or globes of invisible light, if you like. You see nothing. Ander and Dargon, as you survey these buildings, and especially, you begin to get the understanding that these seem like they were once trade buildings of a sort. You can see an old anvil outside of one building. You see Tanner's racks destroyed against another one. Vials smashed outside one.
All inside
All
the
inside,
building or
yeah.
outside of it? Okay.
Inside.
It's like a market. Okay.
You begin to get that impression that this is like a huge, almost like shopping centre. And there were various trades clearly practiced in here. You see faded signs, a jeweller's, an apothecary. But then deep in the back, you see a marble structure. Two cracked crystals outside of it. And a sign that still reads Enchanters of Esamir.
What does the crystals look like?
They were once probably powerful gemstones of sorts, or maybe decorative gemstones, but they just now look, they're clear.
Not like the one that
translucent,
just
if you
blew me
like.
off. Okay.
Not like the one that just shot you across the city, no.
I think we may have found our place to draw this circle.
I think so.
What did the sign read? Mate,
Enchanters of
what
Esamir.
of enchanters? Thank you.
I'm going to say, now that you've found that, let's take a short break. We'll do this when we come back.
See you in a minute.
Hello.
Don't just say what I thought you said before we come back on.
Yeah.
I have the button, so actually I realised I had the power 2 weeks ago and I didn't do it.
See, I
Prick.
don't know what that word means, so you said it, and I was like, "What is that?"
Means
And then I saw everyone's reaction. I was like, "Oh, got you." I'm gonna Google that word. You carry on.
Yeah, tone
I
safe
don't
search.
say-
Don't Google images it, just for the love of God.
No, absolutely Google it. If you're going to Google it, fucking do it via Google Images.
Yeah. But don't screen share on stream.
No, let's not do that.
Oh,
Good
man.
stuff. So, thank you all for joining us. As Dave says random words before we join, before we rejoin the stream. So yeah, thank you all for sticking with us. I say all. One person. Thanks, Dick. We really need to try and drag more people into watching us, but it's fine. Hopefully people are following us after the fact or watching us on YouTube. If you are, leave us a like, subscribe, leave us a rating on the podcast, whatever you can do. We appreciate it and we love you. This is all for you at the end of the day. We enjoy doing it, but
I was about to say, we're doing it because we enjoy it, but we hope that you do too.
Yeah.
absolutely.
I definitely do it for
Cool.
me. The bonus is you enjoy it as well.
Oh, good stuff. The bad word, Stick, just so you're in the loop, was clunge.
I wrote it down.
I love the Urban Dictionary definition of that word.
Oh
Well,
my
read it
God!
out.
You have now got to read it out, right? You know, tell the
No,
tell the rest of the class.
no.
I will just say
No.
I will just say something that has gone ripe with age, but it's still acceptable to do.
There we go.
That is the definition on the Urban Dictionary.
Wow!
There you go.
This is why I said no. Anyway, should we play some D&D instead?
Oh, maybe.
No, let's descend into chaos.
Yeah,
No,
maybe.
no.
You know.
Right. Sorry, I've got my little quill here.
Nice. Oh, the new quill.
The new quill, which I found in the middle of Cambridge. So, having dealt with
We're still attached to a bird.
I say
You
dealt
have to
with.
catch it and kill it.
So yeah, dealing and sort of reeling from this scrying spell are now entering into this strange shopping centre of sorts, like medieval shopping centre, if you like, within this marble shell, I'm going to call it. You see this building with these cracked crystals outside that says Enchanters of Essamir. The windows are dark, it looks dark inside. What are we doing?
I'm going to head towards those 2 crystals to find out if we walk past that to find if there's an area, a circle already there, or whether we also have space to draw this circle. Just feeling it's like it's fitting.
Do I need to get my crayons out?
Would you like to venture inside?
I'm going to, yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you have to shove the door open a little bit, but eventually you do, and Dargon's armour gives off enough light to now illuminate the inside of this building, which has a second floor to it. You can see that now. There is a staircase that leads upstairs. But as you look around, there are long ruined books of sorts, cracked vials. This place was... almost looks like it's been cleared out prior to whatever happening. Would you like to venture upstairs?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You venture upstairs and the stairs are rickety. They creak. Made of wood. Who's going to be the first one upstairs?
Me.
Specifically with you then, Dargon. These stairs sound like they are straining a lot.
A little bit.
Some significant creaks and cracks and groaning of stairs as you, probably a little bit quicker than you usually would, get up the top of these stairs and enter up onto the second floor. And what you see surprises you. As you now see what is clearly a spell-casting focus area. An area devoted to the casting of spells and channeling of magic.
Sort of some of the more basic and fundamental runes are carved in, leaving you the ability to do other stuff, kind of thing.
There is not a spell circle as such, but there is a platform which has quite clearly been used in the past. This has been underwater for some time,
Good
and the
point.
stone platform that it's on has been worn smooth.
Yeah, need to remember it's been underwater for a while.
Tad.
Well, lads, I think we found the right place. It looks like as good as any.
Yeah.
I'll start drawing then.
Can I look around while he starts drawing to see, does this room look like it has had any sort of security put into it previously? Whether there or not anymore, did it look like this place was well guarded?
Make me an investigation check, please.
Ariel?
Before Anders starts drawing, I'd like to catch your attention, please. But I will wait for the check.
Investigation 25.
Nice. You look around the room and you can see on the ceiling there are these crystals, long cracked and broken, and what looks like residue which has stained the walls even after all this time. And you can see where these crystals were joined by something, some sort of powder or material of some sort, so it looks like strings of Christmas lights, I suppose you could almost say. You get the impression that that was some sort of magical protection with a 25. You also notice that there is a a long ruined bed to the side and a satchel just poking out from underneath.
I would like to investigate the satchel, please. I'll have a look inside it.
As you open up the satchel, you notice that there is almost just like this slosh of water that was being held outside of the satchel. And as you reach inside, the inside is strangely dry.
Can I put my arm in further than I should do?
No.
Okay. Can I look inside
But
and
you
see if I
do
find
pull
it?
out a palm-sized book.
The book is dry, presumably then?
The book is dry, yes.
Is it... Does it have any locking mechanism, or is it just a book and can I just look through it? Peel through it?
You
go to
open the
first
book
page?
up.
Yeah.
As you look at the first page, there is a almost like a printed, if you like, stamped title in there. Says Journal of, and then there's a line, and written underneath that there are the words Lord Areth.
Lord Areth.
Okay, and then looking through further, can I scroll through? Can I see, is it just a brief look through? Has he just written stuff, or does it look like he's written like words and then like symbols? And you know, is it a journal like my diary, or is it a journal like this and I learnt this and this is what I've sort of, you know, tried to elaborate on?
Let me an Arcana check, please.
Oh, this is going to be absolute balls. Yeah, 100% 3.
With a 3 is you can read that first page, and as you flick through, this is written in absolute gibberish.
And what
Some
was
words look like they may be backwards, some are written in a different language, some are runic. You have no way of translating what the fuck is inside this book.
Well, this Lord Areth didn't write particularly well. Either that or he knew a different language. I can't make head and tail this, but I'm guessing that he was the one who looked after this place.
Here's a question. Would comprehend languages work on somebody's made-up shorthand?
I'm going to ask you all to make me a history check, please.
History check.
Is this
I
the guy
don't
in
think
the
anybody's
blue...
cottoned on to a big point here.
Is this the guy in the red orb?
No.
I'm like, I've definitely heard that name before, but I can't quite.
21 on the history. Yeah, I was thinking, I was about to just message the chat.
Going to give you disadvantage, Andy.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I don't. 5.
I'll roll it again.
5.
That was 16. 16.
17 with disadvantage.
17, okay. So even with disadvantage, as Dargon sort of stands there and goes, Journal of Lord Areth, you both prick up. And as specifically as you almost lost yourself totally to a man who called himself Areth.
Fucking sword!
No, not the sword.
No,
sword.
not the sword.
No?
The orb. The
orb.
He tried to possess
The
me.
orb, yeah,
my
the orb
God,
down in
that's
River's
what
End.
I was-
Like this was saying,
Yes.
yeah, it was him. So
That's what it
Our
is.
house.
yeah,
Kirik was so excited for the wrong thing.
our house in the middle of our street. Yeah, it's it was him.
House.
So yes, Lord Areth was the one in the red orb, managed to contain their soul for a period until said orb was destroyed.
Maybe this is instructions on how he created the Soul Forge.
Oh boy.
What are you saying? You know him?
He's the guy from the orb who tried to possess me. The house that we had.
Oh, that twat down in Riversend.
Funnily enough, also the last time that Andy tried to cast a teleportation circle.
Oh, bloody hell.
What a coincidence! This is going to go
Can't wait to
well.
go back to that house one day.
He's just got whiskey in his eye.
Good.
Thank fuck I'm wearing contacts.
I will try comprehend languages and touch the book and see if I can decipher the whatever that fuck that is.
So cast me a spell casting ability check with the impact. Which I believe
So
you as
even if it's
charisma.
not a spell attack or a spell save, it's still going to be impacted.
Yes.
Do I do that? So, alright.
So what's your spell casting ability modifier?
+5.
Okay, so
Not that
roll a charisma check +5 with the impact.
$10.
Again, there is a moment where your hands sort of and the text begins to shift around. And on the page you're looking at, words do form. And it just says, haha, please fuck off. Leave my book alone.
Mrs. Mooney, Wormtail, Padlet and Prongs, delighted.
Yeah. Okay.
Kindly request Professor Snape keep his big nose out of their business.
Oh man, I love it.
It makes me nervous to draw the circle, but then again, I'm not activating the circle. I'm just drawing a nice picture.
Yeah, okay,
I won't die.
Right. General consensus, guys. We know that everyone is up shit creek. As much as it's been a blow to find out more information about what's going on, we know everyone's fucked. Do we trust Idril? Or shall we... I mean, I say trust. I'm still going to have sword and shield out when people come through this bloody thing. But, you know what I'm saying?
I think it's worth a gamble if we get more allies out of it.
Fine. Then you get drawing on that symbol, and let's see what happens.
And based on what Kirik was saying about when he scried on the blender, I'm getting words out. I tried to say distiller and blender put together. It doesn't look like distender.
That's what he's got in his bag of holding.
Yeah. So
honestly, Glove, it's not mine.
I'm keeping it for a friend.
Based on what he was saying to the blender, I don't think he's the one who sent the message because he's telling her to call him then.
From your description of what Kirik said, we think that they're in the Black City. So we can only
black.
We can only hope that Idril is still safe. Also, and I will point this out, but I was thinking it was a bloody brilliant ploy, that the Gore Crows were attacking the message hawk, and therefore most likely it wasn't actually a ploy that wasn't meant to make it through.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a big double bluff otherwise.
Yeah, it's a hell of a double bluff. It's exactly what I would do, but only after I saw it.
I can make it so that no fiends can walk into this room or teleport into this room.
Why have you not started doing that?
Because I only remember that I had that now.
That's magic. Do it now.
Because I've got that many spells, it's really difficult to keep track of them.
Yeah, and because
Sorry, I just pointed out that was not me being rude to you, Isabel. I totally knew that, but from Dargo was like, the fuck, get on with it.
What we need, you should put all your spells into like a tombola, and then you just go digga 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 digga. I'll cast Blight, and then we just pick one out of the
We should have your spells just going along on a ticker tape along the bottom of here, just like constantly, so that we can all just keep a track of it.
So before,
but then we'll long rest and it'll be fucked.
Yeah, before Ender starts drawing circle,
I'm trying to draw this fucking thing for ages, isn't it?
I will grab my ruby dust.
2 hours and 24 minutes.
I'll ritually cast Forbiddance just at the confines of this world.
Forbiddance.
So again, as Kirik sort of casts this spell...
The ultimate nope.
Carry on.
I'll just denominate fiends, basically. And undead, I guess. Fiends and undead.
And you can see him sort of stood there as this ghostly glow forms in his hands and his hair begins to sort of billow backwards with this almost water-like quality. Being underwater. Think Oracle from 300, if anybody's seen that bit where they're having the weird fit when they was actually filmed underwater. And then there is just this wave of freezing cold energy that seems to spread out and surge up the walls. And yet again, Bothrid just stands there and goes, "Oh, really wish you'd stop doing that, Kirik."
Sorry, it's what I do. Ander, before you draw, I need to ask you something. You keep your eye and hands on gems, right?
I'm a connoisseur, some would say.
Do you have a fairly expensive one that I could use?
Why do I always end up giving all of my precious gems to you? Right, let me see.
You will like
you
this
are
one.
A king now.
Will I get a superpower? Oh, I
For-
gave you my 5,000 diamond last time, didn't I? I've only got a 500 diamond, a small diamond left.
Out of game, I don't particularly need a diamond. I just need a gem.
Let me see.
Also, fourth walling it here, I know that we've been up against fiends for a lot of this. Asmodeus is a god, isn't he? But he is still of the fiends. He's not a devil, or is he a devil? I'm just getting a little, like, for instance, if you can do more than one, do you not need to say devils and fiends? I don't know, because I thought that they were on opposing
Devil
sides.
is a subtype of a fiend.
Cool.
Yep.
Right.
So fiends are demons and devils.
Demons and devils.
Gods.
That was it. Yeah, okay, yeah. So yes, this wouldn't hold out Asmodeus, as nothing fucking would. But, yeah, okay.
The only gems I have are magical. I have a side crystal and a green chromatic rose gem.
Yeah, probably not.
Let's just have a look, because I was talking to after that, whether I've got anything.
Dagon's got loads in his armour, hasn't he?
Yeah, you can fuck off. I think I used all of mine as that, like, bag of, which is worth this, in one of our previous...
That's fine.
How valuable does it need to be?
1,000?
Oh, if I cast in large on the 500 gold diamond, will it double in value?
That would be the ultimate flex doing that.
No, that's fine. I mean, I opened my inventory and apparently I have one that costs 1,000. So I must have been thinking about this ahead of time. So,
by the way,
That's
I
another
would
one
like to point
communicated.
out, as we've all been digging through our bag of holdings, I still have the Orb of Direction, if that's ever going to be useful.
I mean, you've literally just got to choose where you want to go.
I was going to
and
say,
the fucking thing will point it.
It would have been wonderful about 4 episodes ago.
how long is it? How long do we think it's going to take? Ander, how long do we think it's going to take you to draw this?
25 minutes.
Call it an hour.
Probably about an hour.
About an hour.
I'm confident in my abilities. I'm ambidextrous, remember? I can draw with both hands at the same time.
Yeah, and I can write fuck all
Draw
with
fuck all with both hands.
In that case, I will tell the two of you. We might need. Well, I've got a chance to bring something that might help us in the future, but I need about an hour to do so.
I mean,
That's perfect.
Are we talking temporary help? Because I don't know whether we're actually going up against bad stuff here. What's the plan? What's the idea? You've brought forward those like celestial beings to come and help us in the past, haven't you? Are you talking about that?
Well, if we find more of these gems, I may be able to do it indefinitely, but for now it will last for about 10 days.
Well, we are in a defiled market. I can always go and, rummage through while you guys are drawing and stuff.
Sounds good.
What, sorry, I mean, I'm just lining myself up here for scrounging through shit. What are you actually on about?
There was two gems at the entrance. I know they were cracked a little bit. They might be worth something.
That's a very good point. Would they work, Kirik?
I don't know. Do you think they're worth about 1,000 gold pieces?
I'll go quickly check. I'll go appraise them quickly, Matthew, with my keen eye.
And your goggles of awesomeness.
Yes.
Goggles of awesomeness.
Canon.
Make me an Antiques Roadshow check.
Well, that is it in the end. It's like, make me a jeweler's check. You don't know jeweler's tools, so you're a bit fucked. Make me a straight investigation check, please.
Oh,
Agents.
I get, and I get to have advantage with my Googles. Right, so that's a 19 and guidance is a D4, right?
Correct, sir.
Boom, 23.
The advantage wouldn't count because in this instance, it's not like you're investigating a scene. You're trying to appraise a gem.
Yeah, but the goggles only work when you're close up.
I'm still going to call it a flat roll.
Right, let me roll it again then. Well, hang on, unless it tells you what the original was in the game log.
It should tell you the two.
First one, yeah.
No. Oh, hang on. 4. So there'd been a 13 and so there'd been a 17 altogether.
That's pretty good.
With guidance.
Yeah, so it's a 4 plus 9, so yeah, 13. And
then the guidance.
These gems
is
are
4.
cracked.
Yep.
They're no longer. It's a D4, isn't it, or is it just straight plus 4? Straight
You
plus
rolled
4.
Oh, I got a 4 on the D4 though.
Yep. Right. Okay.
Yep.
In which case, which would be negated. No, sorry, not a magical ability check. Ignore me. Ignore me. Scratch that. These gemstones are cracked. They are no longer the pure form that they were. You reckon before they cracked, these things were invaluable? Easily would have garnered you platinums worth. Now in the state they're in, as there's no residual magic to them, you can't feel any residual magic to them, they are probably worth silver, copper, something to make pretty jewellery out of.
False alarm, they're worth nothing. I'll go back to my drawing.
Fine, I'll go searching while you're all doing your stuff.
I'll draw. I'll actually start drawing this time.
Great. So Ander begins to draw.
Can I go looking through, admittedly knowing that this is a market where you were talking about, you know, tanned leather and stuff like that. I'm still just going to try and, in the hour that I've got, search through and see what I can find gem-wise. And probably just loot the place anyway.
Okay, roll me 3 investigation checks, please.
Awesome.
Give you guidance for the first one.
Love it. D4. Currently have a one of those little PC screws that hold in, like, you know, DVI cables. It's currently in my dice tray for some reason. It fell out while I was moving my computer.
Why is that?
Graphics card just fucking hanging out.
No. It's more about the fact that I found it on the end of my DVI cable when I moved my computer. Right, so first one is a legendary 30.
Woo!
That was a 19 plus an investigation
Wow.
of plus 7 plus a D4 of 4.
Damn.
So you go digging downstairs.
Yeah.
Like, the first thing you do is survey this room and go digging downstairs. And you begin to sort of hunt around, and eventually you find this drab-looking cloak of sorts. You sort of brush it down and brush all this stuff off. And there is a moment where as you hold it out, it just sort of spreads out in some invisible, unknowable wind.
Cool. I put it in the bag of holding.
Okay.
The Stranger's Cape.
Do I put random cape of wondrousness?
For now, until you identify it.
Yeah, well, that's not going to be me. That's
Okay.
going to be...
Second investigation check, please.
So I'm just trying to write a random cape of awesomeness. There we go. Okay, that is going to be a...
There we go.
17.
Nice.
I'm going to lie, my investigation's quite high and I like it.
You move outside and move into the apothecary.
Yeah.
And begin to hunt around. Find a few items. Just an unbroken vial. A couple of what look like maybe old materials, herbs that have long withered, and you think, no use. And then you find a drawer and you pull a drawer open. And with a 17, you do find a number of gemstones.
Awesome.
Ooh, giggity.
Total value of all those gemstones,
Yeah.
by your
guess.
gauge, is about, once you've collected them all up, about 1,600 gold pieces.
Good Lord Almighty. Nice. I shall collect that lot up.
Well, you notice as you close this drawer, as there was once a lock on this, but it is long rusted. And you just snapped it as you opened it.
Whoopsie daisies.
Make me a third investigation check, please.
Alrighty then. $16.
Well, they're getting worse.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
I love the fact they'd be like, and
Okay. You wander out and you sort of brush through a few other shops, and there's not a lot. But then you do find what looks like maybe it was once an old jeweller's, and you randomly lift up the counter. Literally lean down, lift it up, thinking, fuck it, I've got nothing else to lose. And underneath you find a ruby, about an inch in diameter.
Nice.
And as you hold this ruby up to the light, you notice that it is etched with strange runes.
Oh, someone scratched on it. Buggers.
Ruby, 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 ruby.
As I hold it, do I just transport to another dimension or something?
Doesn't seem to
Aqua
do
just
anything.
fucking disappears.
Don't worry, guys. I'll be back in an hour. You know.
search for Dargon.
All right. I mean, again, it looks cool. Not going to look much further into it. I am
I'll
thinking
say in
however,
that
might
time
be
you've
enough.
sort of exhausted most of the shops or what were shops around you.
I'd also be
Awesome,
saying
made
that
me laugh.
while I'm doing that, I'm looking round, and after a couple of minutes, I do realise that all of the wood is sodden and therefore no good for firewood. Because I'm a plum.
It's all, although it is starting to dry, it's still wet
Yeah.
on the inside though. This stuff's been underwater for a long time.
So
gonna
that was the
take
thing.
a
I was like,
while.
there's me going, okay, what do we need? Rations, provisions, firewood. Oh, fucking hell, that's not enough light. And I was like, just keep doing that. Once I've rallied through, or I hear them finish, I'll walk back upstairs, creak, 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 and hey, getting on up here.
And
Yeah,
make
I'm
me a
not drawing
dexterity
anything.
check, please.
Me and Bothrid are playing noughts and crosses. Chuck now, I'm joking.
I kind of want to do that, but no, go for it. So make me a dexterity check now.
I will also say that during the time that Anders drawing and stuff, I'm doing my mastiff.
You're doing your
14.
My stuff, but we'll play it out in a bit. After.
yeah, no, that's cool. So with a 14, going back to the drawing of this spell circle, then it's not the best thing you've ever done,
Hey,
but it's
I tried really hard.
It's not the best thing you've ever done, but it is very similar to, and bearing in mind this is only a small drawing on a rolled up piece of parchment, you've done it really to the best of your ability. And you step back and Bothrid's just going to go, I think you fucked that bit up, but we'll do. Kirik, while under the
Hello.
drawing.
I am downstairs, and I found sort of a different room that the Dargon isn't searching, or that has searched, and I am gonna sit down for a bit, clear up the space, make sure that there is enough space for myself and a large creature to fit in here.
I will say you probably have to go sit outside for that.
Okay, so I'll sit outside. But outside is not like outside of the market area. It's like the
No, you
I'm
just need
imagining
to
there's
go
like a-
outside of this particular building and then out into sort of the shopping centre.
yeah. I'm imagining I'm imagining sort of the Hercules marketplace at the beginning of the film.
Absolutely what
Yeah.
I've got in my
Yeah,
mind.
got it. Cool. So as I'm sort of like sat in the center, I will take out. I'll sit like cross-legged, and I will take out a raven feather, which is like dark and quite big, and I will sort of like look at it, focus, and I will start casting. Yes, I'll start casting a spell. It takes about a minute to be done with. And throughout that time, there is the feather. That feather was going to start to like hover, and then go in front of me, and start to like rotate slowly, and starts to sort of lose its coloration as the black just starts getting taken. The black just starts getting taken apart, and we're left with just a pristine white feather, and then another, and another, and another, and another, until from that feather start to appear more, until we see a wing, and then there is another wing that appears on the other side, and the body of a horse in between those two wings, as I'm going to cast Conjure Celestial, and I'm going to bring a Pegasus in.
Nice.
What? Say what?
This icy energy just cracks out, and a Pegasus just sort of stretches out its neck, and the wings spread wide.
As soon as that happens, I'll get up, I'll grab the crystal, and I will start, or the gemstone that I have, and I will start, brushing, the mane, the feathers, the entire skin, the entire, body of this animal, or this creature, and as I'm doing that, I will take an hour to cast Planar Binding at 6th level, so that this Pegasus is with us for 10 days.
Nice.
That is what I'll do.
So as you take this gemstone and begin to brush, almost like you would if you were just brushing out the coat of the Pegasus. And this is where I've got to attempt to make some sort of fucking horse noise, isn't it? There you go, that's about it. I am going to say you brush and brush and brush, and eventually the magic seeps around the eyes and the nose of the Pegasus. And even though the feathers and the fur is white, whiter still is this shape of a mask around the head as you cast planar binding even, and bind this Pegasus not only to this plane but to yourself.
Yeah. By the time that's done, the gemstone is gone. Does it consume it?
No, that swipe just...
How to spend the 7th level and the 6th
Here,
level
got a
spell
pet.
slot in about 10 minutes.
Well, an hour.
That's right, we're going to bed later. You're getting back.
That was the first 7th level spell slot done.
Nice. So Kira's got a pet.
Yeah.
Nice.
The Pegasus is just going to sort of lay itself down and look at you and wait for instruction, really.
I'll speak in Celestial to it, and I'm assuming the Pegasus is not going to fit upstairs. Oh shit! I need to name him now. Oh fuck. Oh great. I did not think this through.
Fish.
So looking up and seeing this, can I pet
I mean,
him?
you wouldn't because you're inside. You're still finishing off the circle at this
I'm
point.
outside.
Yeah, I was about to say, are you doing this
Kirik
elsewhere?
fucked off outside. Dargon would probably walk back just as this is being finished and go.
Carrie can find it. Oh, fucking hell. Carrie, what have you done?
I like to think you assume it was Bothrid.
I mean, Bothrid's upstairs helping you draw, so...
What have you done to Bothrid?
Sorry, I'm just loving the fact that you could look and be like, oh, that's just Bothrid, and then you go upstairs and Bothrid's there, and you're like,
run back downstairs like, Kirik, what have you done?
I thought it might, we might need it.
Yeah, cool, of course. That's exactly what I was thinking. Right. Do you know what? I got you some gems. So, is he going to look at me the whole time I'm talking to you?
Yeah, I don't know yet.
All right. So,
It's quite
right. Anyway, I've got this red gem. It's got some etching on it, so some bastard decided that he was going to ruin it. Here you go. Is that something you would want to use?
I'll pick it up. Do I notice anything particular about this gem? The runes? Do I recognize the runes?
Maybe an Arcana check, please.
Wait.
Can I also say that those selection of gems that I found the second roll, that I also managed to find a Hessian bag or something just to accumulate them in,
Oh yeah, you would have found some sort of fucking.
Yeah,
in fact, well, there was the satchel upstairs that had the journal in it that you could have used. But yes,
whatever, something around there that should be that small. I say smaller collection, the collection instead of the singular.
yeah, you've managed to find some sort of rudimentary bag that you've used to.
You said an Arcana check? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I got distracted with the other creatures I could have summoned, but I'm like, nah, Pegasus is good. Yes, this is not the only creature I can fucking summon now. Fun times. That is a 26.
Good lord.
26. You recognise the runes as they are magical, and they describe war magic.
War magic?
The ruby doesn't look overly complicated, to be honest, or anything particularly grand, but the runes themselves do describe this element of war magic. Make me an investigation check with your proficiency bonus for your sage background.
So let me know if you say any of this out loud as well.
Yeah, I definitely would. Investigation check.
Would my initial arcane fighter understanding give me any insight to what they might now be? No, I've been
Not since you got rid of it, no.
Fine.
18. Investigation.
18. You vaguely recall hearing of things like this before. It's not a particularly rare item. In fact, it was used quite commonly by war mages. The fact that it's a ruby is not important, but you know this as a gem of the war mage, or a gem that a war mage would use. Usually they are combined with a martial weapon of sorts, which allows that martial weapon to then act as a spellcasting focus.
Oh, cool.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, I don't know whether that's useful to any of us, but that sounds cool.
Yeah,
I know what I'm doing campaign too.
do I know if that's specific to like a wizarding school?
You would know that has been used by many different sort of spellcaster in the past.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll
So
relay
Dave,
that
you
to
can
them.
now add Ruby of the War Mage to your inventory.
Okay. I was saying that. Okay, so Kerry, do you explain all of that?
Yeah.
So maybe this is not something that you want to burn on a spell then. Maybe not.
If none of us are going to use it, then we might as well.
Well, shall I keep hold of it in case?
if we're going to get Idril to our cause. Oh, I'm not there. Never mind.
I will hold on to that for the moment and say, okay, well, maybe these bag of gems will also do you proud, and I'll hand over the bag. I don't know whether that's enough, but looks good enough. And
For the man who really has no need for material possessions, he has a lot of valuable shit.
After you unlock 7th level spells, clerics kind of need material possessions.
So Kirik is now a material girl, is he?
There's a fine curve of like the spell level that you have.
Don't need.
I was going to say, 15th level, you live out of, like Hessian trousers, and 17th level, you're suddenly, I need a mansion, give me stuff.
Yeah. It goes like, oh, I just need diamonds, and then it's like, oh, Hero's Feast.
It's
and
a
then,
proper hockey stick.
Everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Ah, man. I will definitely hand that over to you. So that is 1,600 gold worth of gems.
Gold pieces worth of gems.
Yeah. I'll delete that from my inventory.
Yep.
But I'll keep the other one.
The Pegasus won't fit upstairs, so I feel like I should stay down here. Don't tell Lando, I want to see his face when he sees him.
Do you know what? I'm quite happy to leave this one as a secret. Look, if the screaming and shit, then maybe you do come running in. But I'm hoping that this is going to be a good thing. So I'll hope that they've done it right. If they've drawn a penis in it, then Pale will help me.
I really hope we don't have to fight today, guys. I'm just saying.
Right. Shall I give him the go ahead?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on a minute. What did that thing say? Do we need to tell them, or will they just know that it's working?
That's a very good point. No, they don't know that it's because I didn't I was trying to send a message, but it didn't go through.
Do we need to try and resurrect that hawk and send it back, or what?
Resurrect the hawk.
Technically can't do that.
Maybe I should have helped it survive.
Tie the note to it and just throw it really hard.
I mean, I'll probably get like I might get sea meat, from here. If I wind up.
Oh, revivify as a creature. Yes, I could potentially do that. It was a humanoid.
So we just need to send sending again, don't we? To the Prime Arcanum.
I need to know the person though.
There's a lot of conversations going on right now. I'm assuming out of character.
Yeah,
because I'm not there. I'm not there, am I?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll stop interrupting.
Right.
It's fine. I just don't want you to do something in character where, like, Ander has to stick his head out a window, like, what the fuck's going on?
Let me go see if they're done yet. So I'll go upstairs, find out what they're doing.
As Ander is finishing off, and it looks reminiscent of what was drawn.
The masterpiece is
That's close as
complete,
close could be.
You're just in time.
Oh, brilliant. What happens now? Does it like light up or something when they know that?
We've got to turn it on, but we've got to tell them. They said to tell them when we've done it. How do we tell them? Can Azazel fly that far as a courier pigeon?
I could try. Never sent her that far away. Should we give it a whirl?
How far is it?
Also, actually,
like 3 days by probably hawk flight.
I wouldn't want Azazel to get attacked by zombie crows either.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really understand. I think I with divine, powers managed to bring them into existence. So I don't think that they die necessarily. They more get bumped back, and I know that. However, it's also quite likely that's going to happen if there is a load of undead crows up there. So, okay. Do we know anyone? Wasn't one of the Fey lot talking about them knowing people in Idril?
Yes, because he's the one who told us about the circle.
Fine. Right. And let's go downstairs and let's have a chat with Kirik, and probably now that this is done, let's find out if we can tell them that it's sorted.
Okay.
And then go from there. How about
that? Okay. Deal. We'll go downstairs.
Bothrid, can you stay here just in case it does light up? Guys, have we still got the standing stone, or we gave that away? We gave that away a long time
I've
ago.
got one of them, I think.
Don't worry.
Yeah, so we need to get the other one back off Captain Swift, actually. She's still got it.
Right, that's a good point, because if we can give it to Bothrid, he can tell us.
Yeah.
I'll shout. We'll be fine.
Alright, Bothrid, you stay here. And you come downstairs, we'll collect Kirik, and we'll go back and talk to him. See if we can find out if anyone does know and can actually ask them. Go on, you first, stand up, because these stairs are getting a bit creaky with me on it.
Okay. And then as I get to the bottom and I see the Pegasus, I'm going to stop, like, look at Kirik, turn back and look at Dargon, and I'm like, you got me a surprise present! You've got me the King Steve! Oh, that was brilliant! What a ruse! I fell for it, hook, line and sinker.
That wasn't quite the case, but I suppose you can fly it.
Of course I'm going to fly it. It's my horse. You got me a present, right?
It is not your Pegasus. It is not your Pegasus.
I mean, the Pegasus is going to raise its horse head and look towards Ander, and you would see this distinctly stark white mask over its face in the fur. Probably unnerves you a little bit.
I mean, Ander, I know you just got, effectively kicked in the jewels by a gem, but I certainly wouldn't mind seeing you get kicked in the jewels by a massive horse with wings. So if you want to, then give it a whirl. Right, feel free.
I might cast Blade Ward on myself before I attempt to kill the horse. So, right.
Okay.
So it's not for me, but do I get to ride it?
And look towards.
I don't mean like a kid at the seaside on a donkey. I mean properly fly it around Esamir.
We'll let him get accustomed to us, and then we'll see where we are.
Okay.
Right.
Horse noise, mate.
We need to find out if anyone knows anyone in Idril and tell them that we've drawn this infernal bloody circle and try and get them over here. So, shall we just go and find out who we were talking to who knew about Idril? Because we need to get on with this.
Do we know when Nathaean is?
There's Nathan and there's Ethereal, so we don't know whether either of them have actually made it there. If you've got enough spells left, then feel free to send them a message.
I have a sending stone that goes to him.
Oh. Give that bad boy a go.
He stayed behind to help Thingy Bob, didn't he?
Hello, Whitehall 1-2, is anyone there?
So he's going to be with, I reckon he'll be with Asmodeus. He's one of the 4 that he's already got.
Right, might as well find out.
Oh man. If they have the sending stone, do I want... Fuck.
You don't have to give too much away, just go, hey up.
Yeah.
We'd like to talk to you about your electric plan, because we think that you...
Electric plan? Do you have a moment to talk about our savior, Raven Queen? I will grab the sending stone, and I will then say... Yeah. transport is ready. Hope you are safe. Where are you? Is there anyone else with you to come to the city? I'll end there.
Cough once if Asmodeus is with you.
Cough one if the Lord of the Nine Hells is.
He's currently got a ruby rod shoved up your asshole. There is a moment of silence again. You can feel your heart sort of up here thinking, do we have any allies? 3. And then a voice comes back. Well, it's about fucking time.
Finally, one of them.
Jesus.
I'm here with the lion. If it's ready, we'll be there shortly.
And we'll pay it off.
Stand by.
Hearing that, I will dispel forbiddance because I just remembered that that blocks planet travel. So just in case they're in the Feywild.
So you can
We're
sort
like,
of...
oh yeah.
There's a couple of minutes and you think, oh, shit, dispel that. And again, there's this sort of shock wave or reverse shock wave that sort of sucks up to the room on the second floor. And this wave of cold energy. And Bothrid, you're just going to hear from the top shout, for fuck's sake, Kirik!
Does that mean that you... Is that a good sign, Kirik? Should we... What are we doing? What?
I think they're coming.
Yeah,
So
right. And I about face and run back upstairs.
at least
Kirik
Nathan
is
and...
growing, he's glowing! Kirik!
Yep,
Kirik!
go upstairs, go upstairs.
I'm on it! Yeah, so sword
And the
and
spell circle
shield
itself has begun to burn with a silver-like fire. The runes that Ander has etched in just... And then this circle of silver fire just... And a figure steps through. Cream robes. Blonde mane of fur. And a lion's maw. Well, you took your damn time.
I did not miss him.
And he's going to turn, and another figure steps through. Stern-faced, wide-eyed, rings and bags under the eyes as Nathim steps through. Like he said, you took your time.
Well, I'm sure you can understand, but we're wary of every single thing outside of this city. We had to take our precautions.
Did she survive?
Did who?
My wife.
Last time we saw her, yeah.
I don't want to hear it. If you don't know, it's fine. Ethereal, we have more to get through. Unless you don't want the survivors of Glen Tuag here, they can stay in Idril.
No, we want them all here. Get them through now. Get them safe. This is the safest place we understand. As soon as they're through, make sure that you get you two and anyone else you see fit in the King's chambers. It's now the war room, and we need to chat.
Okay. And Ethereal's just going to turn and it will place a lion's paw on the circle. Takes a book in one hand and begins to incant and speak words, and again the silver fire burns. And you all very quickly have to vacate the room as one by one figures step out. Etheria creates a gate of sorts using that circle. And slowly but surely the villagers of Glentuag, the survivors of Moonbright, Grellan, the villagers of Greenflower, and a number of others step forward into the city of Esmir. Andy, you begin to very quickly realise you have a small problem. You have a city full of people now. Nowhere to house them. No way of feeding them.
It's time to play Civilization, my friend.
Finally.
I'll catch a fish and cast a large on it.
Two figures step forward. Twins. Annabelle and Mirabelle. And the minute she sees you, Ander, Mirabelle throws all caution to the wind and sprints forward and launches herself at you.
Hopefully I catch her.
You do. And her hands just snake around your neck and she just holds you. And you can feel there is a distinct tremble to her. Annabelle looks around, sees Dargon, sees Kirik, sees Bothrid, sees Ethereal in Neithim, who she has spent some time with now. And there is just a shuddering sigh. Oh, are we safe now?
This is the safest place in all of Nialin, I think, for now. The runes on the walls protect us. Mirabelle's getting choked up on the tears. It's alright.
Go a bit here.
Yeah, this is the safest place you can be. And I'll say in my head to Mirabelle, I've told you I'd see you again and make us safe.
You left it too long. I thought you were dead.
And I'll just say, well,
God,
of course I'll come back to you. What is a king without his queen? I'm going to lay that line on her.
She will visibly blush. And that secret moment between the two of you.
Once Ethereal comes out, I want to go up to him.
The Ethereal just stand there, staff in hand, book in the other hand, and he closes it. As everybody steps through, and everybody is now flooded out into the city and around these shops. I think that's all of them.
I'm glad that you kept him safe.
Well,
What happened with the distiller, though? Last we saw, the two of you were fighting side by side.
we were. She caught me off guard. Shoved me through a gate. After that, I have no idea. She did not follow.
Could I try to check if he's like ashamed or
You can make me an insight check.
How's he feeling towards that? Sure. Insight check. Low considering 24.
Oh, it's low.
Low.
That was a 10 on the dice, so you know.
Ethereal not only, and it's quite clear, not only feels a sense of shame, but also a deep sense of regret. I'm just glad she sent me home.
Well, she clearly thought your safety was more important.
Now, I know I said this is the safest place in terms of magical walls, but it's not much in the sense of home and provisions. So there's something we need to do about that. Is there anything you can bring through from... Has he just closed the portal in so we can't go back and get stuff from Idril? How well fortified is Idril? I'd hate to have brought you here if you were safer there.
Fortified is one thing. We have provisions we can bring. My old circle still exists, although they lacked leadership. Despite one returning, whom I thought was dead. Regardless, we can bring provisions. We have means of reaching out. Now you've created a gate.
Who's called himself the Prime Arcanum now? Is that you?
Called himself, I have reclaimed that title. For now, at least.
Congratulations.
Although I suspect others will seek it soon enough.
We both have new titles.
And he looks across to the side. He looks across to the side, and there is a figure with shoulder-length black hair and brownish robes, who's just sort of looking around the city. Ah, for fuck's sake. What fucking shithole have I landed in now? Somebody bring back the voices.
Feel free to go back to Idril if you want. Sorry, we haven't met.
I think we have.
No,
I think we have.
Recognise these two though. Time I saw you two, we were wandering a river. Tell
That's
me,
true.
how's me old hut?
As smelly and as horrible as ever. And what the fuck did you do with those stools?
Stools?
The stools?
Oh, yes. Well, go have somebody to talk to when you're traversing the precincts of... Boys call it what it is, death.
Well, I'm at least glad to see.
Anyway, Your Grace.
Made a path.
I was granted a way home. I'm Deimos.
Well, Deimos, it's nice to finally know who you are.
Yeah, the pleasure's all mine.
Deimos and Ethereal. Do you think you might be able to confirm our, I want to say suspicions, that the wall is currently keeping us safe? I wouldn't mind your expert opinion.
Well, if you want an expert, you'll need a dragon.
Well,
Oh,
We're
friends with a dragon. Yeah, I'll give him a bell. Seriously though, anything you can do to help bring provisions and build structures, houses, whether that's with your bare hands or with magic, we need to fortify this place because this is our base of operations to make our final push.
You are a king now, Ender. Thoughts. The crystalline circle has always existed beyond the realms of the kingdom. Promises will need to be made if you wish the crystalline circle to help. However, for now, while I seat myself as Prime Arcanum, I will do what I can.
Thank you. And I hope to forge a future relationship with whoever sits that throne, but hopefully it's you, as we've built such a strong friendship so far.
Time will tell.
Before you leave Ethereal, Ander, have you got that journal of Lord Aruth?
That's true. We have found Lord Aruth's journal. He's got his own shorthand. It's just all gobbledygook, but
this might be more useful to you.
Yeah.
good shout.
It might just be the musings of a madman, but I know he was once your friend, so it might mean more to you.
Friend, student, Deimos, he was your brother.
What?
Fuck off. This is like...
Oh.
Drop that shit on us.
That.
Oh. Okay.
Deimos is just gonna grab it. Fucking hell. Alright. Deimos will stick in his pocket.
Bombshell.
Deimos, you with Neothim and Ethereal need to join us in the war room / throne room as soon as it's convenient.
Well, I've got stuff to do if you want provisions and the like. I'll leave that to...
That is more important, I'm afraid, yeah. As soon as you're done, though.
I'll leave it to Nay and Ethereal. Prime Arcanum. And he sort of does this fancy bow.
Can I insight check that bow?
Just,
I was going to say, I do that to Ander behind his back.
Oh, it doesn't need an insight check. It is very, very pretentious and you wanker.
Yep. Thought so.
Ethereal's just going to look at him. You're always such an insolent prick. I'm glad to have you back.
Is it just a wizard thing? The attitude problem? Ethereal, or...?
Is it a wizard thing, or is it my inner circle? Perhaps I attract a certain type.
Yeah, I didn't want to say the common denominator was you, but I think you've made that conclusion on your own.
I was once told an arsehole attracts arseholes. Said speaker didn't have their head for very long.
Well, you know, truth bombs. They do hurt.
Start dragging Ender away from Ethereal.
Dameth, if you want to get onto that provisions, that'd be great. Thank you, Ethereal. We'll see you later. And I'll get the fucking out of here, will you?
Well, if we could all stop fucking chatting, then I might actually be able to get on with some stuff.
Well, we'll see you all back at the King's Chambers in the War Room.
And I will go back to my Mirabelle
you'll leave.
and escort her hand in hand to wherever we're going.
That's right, lads. It only took us
We'll
3.5
say you
hours
take
to
her arm
realise
in
to
yours.
draw something on the floor.
Fucking hell.
You take her arm in yours and sort of begin the walk back as you two begin a conversation that is silent to everyone else. But between the two of you, you catch up.
But just to let everyone know, it's dirty as fuck.
Annabelle
Why do I not still
is
have
going to
read
loop
minds?
her arms through Dargon and Bothrid. Come on, boys, you can take me. My sister can't have all the fun.
Oh, my lady,
Keurig.
we will have to show you around the city.
I go on my Pegasus
Hey,
and
Pegasus.
I'm flying above the city.
Sure.
The Pegasus is going to nudge your arm
Standing like
as
a
you
surfboard.
climb aboard. And it just stretches and the wings spread out and just jumps. And the wings flap and flap. And you get so high and the Pegasus sort of stops climbing. And you can feel a buzz of energy just above your head. The Pegasus then just swoops around. And as it swoops around, that is where we will close for this evening.
I'll tell Mirabelle that's my horse, but I let Keurig ride it.
I will do my best. I will do my best not to sing I'll go the distance.
I feel like you should. This is one of my favourite Disney songs of all time.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that one, Samuel. That's made a very, very happy DM for this evening. So, thank you all for joining us tonight. I know that's been a bit longer than planned, but there was a fairly important bit of RP that needed to happen at the end there. So, lots of revelations tonight. Things are building and building and building, as you can hopefully see. We will see what happens next week with a potential... we'll see whatever the fuck happens. I have no idea at this stage. But stick with us. There is a lot more to come. And a lot more excitement to be had. So thank you to all those tools that we've not used tonight, let's be fair. The only thing we've used is our stream and a little bit of Incarnate in the background for me to figure stuff out, a little bit of D&D Beyond. But yeah, so a huge shout out to Incarnate, Albo Radio, D&D Beyond, Dungeon Alchemist, Hero Forge, Consume, 5e Magic Shop, Tabletop Audio, 2-Minute Tools, Battle Bards, all of those for making our stream amazing, or at least we think it's amazing. Please go check out the podcast, go check out the YouTube stream. This will of course go live on Friday, tonight being Monday for anybody that is watching after the fact. So we'll go live on Friday. I know we were a little bit lax this week. I will blame COVID for the lack of podcast and generally not keeping sort of tabs on folks, but that's all good. So stick with us. We will release some details about potential live streams, or at least with sort of half the cast. And yeah, we'll let you know what's going on. But thank you all for joining us once again. We hope you've enjoyed it. Stay safe. We love you all, and we'll see you next time.